Okay, welcome back, everybody. We are continuing to read Patriarchs and Prophets, and we're on page 50 right now, talking about why the Lord, our Creator, tested Adam and Eve in the garden, and why work is a blessing for us today. It helps us to keep our minds occupied in a healthful way, okay, and keeps us close to the Lord, and keeps us out of trouble, okay. All right, now let's keep reading here so that we can see what else Mrs. White tells us about why work is a blessing. Okay? All right, again, we're on page 50. Those who regard work as a curse, attended though it may be with weariness and pain, are cherishing an error. The rich often look down with contempt upon the working classes, but this is wholly at variance with God's purpose in creating man. Okay? What are the possessions of even the most wealthy in comparison with the heritage given to the lordly Adam? Okay? Meaning that we look down on people who are poor, okay, or who have less than we have. And from what Mrs. White is telling us, the Lord doesn't think that way, okay? He thinks that simplicity is the spice of life, let's say, okay? And our wealth should not be in what we own, but our wealth should be in how we live and in our relationship with God and how we treat other people, okay? And how we care for others, okay? Down here on this, in this world. But having a lot of possessions does not mean that it's a blessing, okay? And we read in the paper all the time about maybe even our movie stars and stuff that we look up to. They have serious problems. Some of them are on drugs and just really out of control. They don't know what to do with themselves. So wealth doesn't mean necessarily that you're enjoying your life, okay? Without God, we really can't enjoy wealth. We can't enjoy anything, okay? So we need Him as the center focus of our lives, and to change our paradigm, the way that we think and the way that we view life, so that we can be happy, excuse me, whether we have wealth or whether we don't have wealth, okay, as far as monetary things are concerned. And she says that work was meant to be a blessing. So looking down on the working class, the blue-collar workers, let's say, that's not a good idea, okay, to look at life that way, because they are truly blessed, because they're working there, and a lot of blue-collar workers are very healthy people, okay. They work hard, they use their muscles every day, like farmers and people that work like that, and construction workers maybe. But those of us who work in offices and really don't have that much physical activity, we're the ones that really have to work harder after we come home from work, okay, so that we can keep our bodies healthy. We have to go to the spas, and we have to go to the gyms and stuff like that to get our exercise, because exercise is important to keep us healthy, okay? All right, so let's not look down on those who don't have what we have, or who are like we were talking a second ago, blue-collar workers, okay? Because they can be more blessed than we are a lot of the times, okay? All right. What are the possessions of even the most wealthy in comparison with the heritage given to the lordly Adam? Yet Adam was not to be idle. Our Creator, who understands what is for man's happiness, appointed Adam his work. The true joy of life is found only by the working men and women. The angels are diligent workers. They are the ministers of God to the children of men. The Creator has prepared no place for the stagnating practice of indolence. Okay, meaning even when He comes to take us to heaven, we're going to be working, but it will be without pain, because we have passed our test as far as who we're going to serve, okay? But we will be working, as Adam and Eve worked, okay? They were not sinners, but God appointed for them to be workers, okay? They had to work, all right? So no idleness in God's world, okay? So we must remember that work is a blessing. Now, while they remained true to God, Adam and his companion were to bear rule over the earth. And I want everybody to understand this, that if we are in God, he trusts us to be rulers, okay, and caretakers of what he has given us. But if we are not true to him, then he can't trust us to rule over his creation. And as we see today, those of us that are cruel to animals, those of us that don't pick up our trash, those of us who just could care less about our environment, we're reaping the cost of not taking care of our earthly environment and our world the way that we should, the way that we should have, okay, and the way that we should 24 hours a day, wherever we're at, whatever we're doing. We should be a blessing at all times to those around us by keeping our environment clean, and caring for it, okay, whatever we're blessed with having, okay. While they remained true to God, Adam and his companion were to bear rule over the earth. Unlimited control was given them over every living thing, okay. Also, we have to remember here that this unlimited control did not mean being hurting or killing. It didn't include any of that, okay? It was to care for, okay? That's what control is. God cares for us, and then he hands that control down to us to care for one another and to care for the living things and in our possessions, okay? Our pets and stuff like that. She says the lion and the lamb sported peacefully around them or lay down together at their feet, okay? So without sin, even the animals, okay? Lions, can you imagine a lion playing with a lamb, okay? That's not even conscionable today. We can't even imagine something like that, because lambs to lions equal food, okay? And so in God's world, we don't have that. We won't live like that. The animals will not have any sin in them whatsoever, and they will not be eating other animals, okay? They will be vegetarians, okay, like we are, like we will be, okay? And some of us are today. Vegetarianism changes our perspective about life and about ourselves and about others, and we become more peaceful because we don't have that animal element in our bodies, okay? So we see here that in heaven and on the new earth that God creates, the lion and the lamb will play together in harmony, and the lamb will not be afraid of the lion, and the lion will not look at the other little innocent animals as food. There will be no fear whatsoever. And right quick, I wanted to mention that I saw a video the other day on YouTube about this lion. His name was Christian, okay, and how years had passed, and his owners, they had taken him, they had raised him in their home in the city, and they had taken him after he got to be too big. They had taken him and put him in a wilderness environment so that he could grow up wild, as he was truly a wild animal. And they came back to visit him sometime later, and he recognized them. He jumped up on them, and it was just like a homecoming event. So it was just beautiful. It brought tears to my eyes and to my heart. And it was just an example here, an earthly example of how things will be in heaven when God comes and when we live with him for eternity, and how peaceful the lions and the wild animals will be in their new home and in their new environment here on the new earth without sin. So if you have time, take a minute to find that video on YouTube of Christian the lion. Be right back.